But then at the end of it, I looked at him and I just go, so like your role, your job, as they're all like kind of doing this number. I go, so now you just have to make it so that when you guys leave tomorrow, that every single one of us in the bar is just like, we have to have that guy. The work is worth it for that individual. It's like, we have to have this person as a snake in the Air Force, as a fighter pilot, all these different things. Make us say that about you. And that's who we overall want. But just go into it knowing that we actually don't want you, was my answer. And it was received well by some. It was received less well by others. And that was the other one of just telling someone, hey, what? It's like, do you want us? No, I don't. I don't actually. But
I mean, interesting concept though, just how we do it in general. Like, yeah, you would think, especially that type unit, exactly. You want guys who are getting off active duty who are instructor pilots or ready to go into IPUG, right? They've had that time, not like groom this, you know. So it's bigger picture than this conversation, philosophical, like why the construct is the way it is. Like, do you really need 2 new guys every 3 years to like grow up inside the squadron versus like we could easily just take these guys 2 extra slots, you know, bodies off active duty and we're good to go to get them to the 20-year, whatever it is. But
exactly, like for the and like it's different. It was, but like, and then that's different than the Guard and Reserve, right? Because the reserves is we are the strategic depth for the active duty, and the Guard is their own unit, and it's a little bit different between the two on how you're trying to fill the squadron. So, but yeah, that was just they might have caught me on a marginal day. But it was. But I think I saved it. I think I saved it.
I just had to coddle them after. It's fine.
Fine. Right here on my shoulder. It's gonna be fine.
I know what he said, but what he meant was this.
Dad's just mad right now. He's had a rough day.
Trust me, you still want to be. You want to be part of the snake. He's a great guy.
I think some of the. For us, I mean, this was our second, and part of that comes down to how many B Corps spots that Africa has and they can allocate to us. But, we didn't have a board for almost 10, 15 years. That was transition from Vipers to 35s. And then we had a board about 4 years ago, and then we just had this board. Whereas we have rated boards yearly. So part of that is kind of the timing on when we kind of can accept those wingmen that come in. And I think even if we're in a position where it's like, we can't afford to have anyone new, we're maxed out, whatever it may be, like, then I don't think we would have a board. But that's like, in a way, why they're kind of spaced 3-4 years apart. And then we still want, like for us, on the other side, like, why do we want these UPT boards? It would just be like, well, we want the dudes that we can have in the squadron that we train, we keep our culture, they're that longevity at Hill Air Force Base for the active duty as well. Then we can train them the way we want to train them to kind of keep that longevity going. But, they're spaced out 3-4 years. That's really all we can handle.
Ben, I know you said you got to go. Probably got about another 10 minutes or so. With this, so I want to make sure we get some. I am curious, like, pro tips across the board, since you guys are active in the reserves, flying fighters, and doing the dream that a lot of people want to do. Like, probably each one of you got like advice for, guys and gals who are trying to pursue this path. Like, what would you recommend? I mean, start Bender. I know you got a punch here in a second, but
yeah, I'll I guess answer and then punch. But before I answer that, I just want to say I got to be there when Conan made the call. So the 3 dudes who did get the spot, because we were roommates in Wisconsin. It was awesome. Anyway, what a cool experience that was to listen to those.
Yep.
I mean, it was amazing. Part of that is because I remember getting my call when I got hired by the Snakes, and I had we had gone through all the wickets, right? Like, I was already an instructor pilot, like all that stuff. So 95% of the path I had already like been vetted, right? I knew new people, had, like gone through pilot training, got my fighter and became instructor or whatever. And even for like guys like us, we're turning down 90% of the applicants, so to see somebody get hired who had done none of the path, anyway, it was awesome. So how exciting would that have been? Anyway, it was cool. So, and Conan did a phenomenal job with the board, and the 3 guys that he hired are touchdowns, like, barring anything that happens in the future, like if they are listening, like, anyway, don't screw it up. I don't know.
Don't suck.
Yeah, definitely don't suck. It's interesting because you got to be, I guess, I'll just say what I like about the snakes, the culture of snakes. So you got to be good at everything that you're going to do, right? You're going to go to OTS, you better be good. You're going to go to pilot training, you better be good. But like being good at flying, that's just the baseline. There's lots of people that are good at the flying. Well, actually, there's not that many people. But even of the ones that are good at the flying, you got to be a bro. Like, we care so much about how we treat each other. How, if you're in a 4-ship, are you going to carry your weight? Like, can you be trusted to lead? Like, all that stuff is so important. And so I don't know how that translates into advice, but just being good, being out for yourself and like getting good grades and all that stuff, it's not going to be enough. Like, if you can't figure out how to like be not just a valuable member of a team, but like make that team so much better than it could have been without you, like that's the it factor I think that the snakes capture really well. I sincerely believe the snakes, that's the best fighter squadron in the world. Like, I have no doubt that that's true, and I think that's because we can handpick the guys who make the snakes just an awesome place to be and high performing, and Conan and Flash are obviously 2 of those guys. Some of us snuck in, I think, under the radar a little bit during COVID maybe. But
no, dude,
it's cool.
we love
it's
everybody.
It's an awesome unit. So like, don't just be good at the baseline stuff, but you gotta, I don't know, you just gotta be a good dude, I guess, a good bro.
Be a good dude.
Be a good dude.
Always.
All right,
Yeah.
I gotta get out of here. I gotta go to a softball tournament. It seems like every
Get
time we
after
record these, I'm going to a softball tournament. But
Yeah.
All better.
it's good to catch up with you
Bitter.
fellas.
Hey,
We'll
good
see you
catch.
later.
See you better.
Yes,
Yeah,
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, now the awkward moment of Bender just still being on there with his kids before
They're
he
still on
actually
camera, Bender. Yeah.
still on camera. Don't do that. You're still here. You're live. That I want, like, Conan to kind of talk about like the rest of it, because like I said, he lived it for so long. But the advice that I have is make the last person tell you no. That's these dudes that was what just kept jumping out at me over the entire process. Was they put in so much effort, and I appreciated it so much. And funny story aside about We Don't Want You, I was just like, these were the people I did want. I was like, that they were just like, even if you were the number 460th application out of 460, it's just like, you are doing something that, like, again, not a lot of people do, and we appreciated them, and they were doing it. And I was just like, hey, there will come a time when the last person with the most authority is going to say the word no. Go find that person, because just like Conan talked about, he put someone in the no pile. That sucks. But Conan is not the person that's going to just be like, you can never become a fighter pilot. Like, the next unit might put you in the yes pile, and you might go into going and doing this different thing. Is until you have exhausted your own will to have the job that you want, become a fighter pilot, if that is in fact the case. But that's what we're talking about specifically. Make sure that you exhausted all units. Make sure that you have cold called the wing commander, if that's your game. Conan Nepo baby, knowing the wing commander at joking.
It helps.
But
it helps.
It did help. It helps. It's like, just like, yeah, your connections. And that was as far as if you could write something in a little notebook, it's make the last person tell you no. And then until that has happened, just keep trying. Because then, just like Bender said, that phone call is a cool phone call. and you're going to get, it's like, hey, all the effort that I put in, the trips, the money, the no's, the you're not good enough. It makes it, at least what the guys have told me, makes it worth it, because and then from me to them and all the people out there that are applying and doing this, is know for certain that regardless of like what my career has or where my career has taken me, you are working harder than me to do this job. I was like, I got lucky, and the path I chose was different, but these guys are putting in a different path and probably more effort, and I recognize that, and a lot of us do.
Yeah, I think it did help my dad be the wing commander, 100%. But he taught me.
Now.
I mean, yeah, it is what it is, right? But
I mean,
he did teach me.
I probably got into the Air Force Academy because I had 3 people who went there too. It's whatever.
He taught me another extremely valuable lesson, and that was, I didn't know. I mean, I was a snacko in the snakes, and I'm like, cool. Like, how do I get hired? How do I get a job? How do I do this? And at the time, he was really only guy I knew. So I'd call him, or he'd ask me how things are going, just sit in his office, whatever. And I'm like, yeah, like how can I get a job? And he's like, I can't guarantee you anything. I can give you this opportunity, and that's all I can give you. And then from there, it's up to you to make that opportunity into something. I kind of took that, all stages of training and kind of life in general, is if you're handed the opportunity, no one can necessarily give you a guarantee. Even the guys that we hired, all we gave them was an opportunity. Now it's up to them to take that opportunity and do the best that they can do with it. And that's really all you can get. So that's kind of a good lesson learned. I learned early on, kind of going through the process. But as far as advice goes to other people rushing, trying to get hired by a Guard Reserve unit, and we touched on it a little bit earlier, but control the things you can control. So that's no typos in your cover letter, include all the documents that they want you to include. I can't tell you how many people I said, give me all these documents, put it in one PDF file, and I would get 12 separate documents. So it's like, control the things you can control and follow the instructions for the job posting. Like, it's any place you're interviewing or trying to apply at, you're going to put your best effort forward. And it's no different than, some big civilian corporation or whatever company you're trying to get hired by. Like, that's the first step, and the first things that get noticed is making sure those things are correct. And then other advice, I touched on it too, but get to know us and interview us as much as we want to get to know you and interview the person rushing, because you have to make sure that you fit in with the culture, that you get along with everybody, that you can see yourself living in our case in Utah for 20 years, if that's what you want to do. So definitely take the time, go explore the area, go try different places, and get a feel for, is this a place I could see myself for 20 years? And then, I think other, piece of advice is, it's draining, especially when people are on the circuit for a while. So take a good hard look at what the goals are, and what your goals are. Is that fighters or bust? Is that I just want to fly in the Air Force? Do I only want to be in the Guard Reserve? It maybe set some timelines for you.